Welcome to the podcast. Today we're going to review No Time to Die and Squid Game together. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into the intro. Boom! And welcome to the ABHI podcast. So let's start with No Time to Die. So I saw No Time to Die in the theaters, and let me tell you, you guys should watch it in the theaters because it's going to be an awesome experience. They purposefully postponed the movie like 3 times so that they could actually release it in the theater so that people can experience the movie in its full form. All right. So if you guys want to watch this movie, please watch it in the theaters because it'll be a good, you know, time pass for all of you, and it will be a very entertaining joyride. Because let me tell you, this movie has some awesome action sequences. All right, there are some flaws in this movie. I mean, it is Daniel Craig's last James Bond movie, right? He has done 5 of these movies. This is the 5th one, and I am a huge Daniel Craig James Bond fan. Like, when I was small, he was the James Bond. Like, he is the James Bond of my generation. And I am a huge fan of James Bond, Daniel Craig version, not the previous ones, only Daniel Craig, okay? So, what did I think of this movie? I thought it was better than Spectre. That rhymed also. Okay. I think it was better than Spectre. Okay. But I think Spectre was a little bit more well shot. This was more like colorful, but there are some very good looking scenes in this movie, especially the opening scene where there's a whole car chase in a city in Italy. Not a city actually, it's like a town, all right? And that scene was very beautifully shot. Then there is a scene in like a jungle with fogs and stuff where he's just killing people left and right. That is also a very well shot scene. But the plot of the movie is a little iffy because the villain, he's a very basic villain, like a very basic plot, and doesn't have a lot of thing going on for him. Like, you know, in Casino Royale, when you saw the villain felt like a real person and you felt connected with him, though he was like a terrorist and stuff. But still, you felt like, okay, if this was a real person, that is what that person would be going through. Afterwards, of course, all the villains became like world dominating type. Skyfall did it really well. But in this movie, the villain had a very basic plot and a very basic motive. So, not a very strong story, but it is a very good movie to end Daniel Craig's whole James Bond thing. And I think Daniel Craig's James Bond is the only Bond that had an actual story arc in all the 5 movies. Otherwise, the previous Bond movies, they were just like one-offs. One movie had one story, then completely reset and another movie. Like, James Bond just refreshes his memory at every movie. But in this movie, each movie carries to the next one. And I really liked it. But this is the longest James Bond movie ever. 2 hours and 49 minutes. So it's almost 3 hours long. And you will be like, oh, this is so long. But thankfully, because of some of the good action sequences in the movie, you will be like, okay, I'm entertained. Daniel Craig, always, he's just very good as Bond, and I liked him. The CGI was just like basic, but they did a lot of things practically, so that was nice. And what else is there to say about this movie? It's just it's a good outing for James Bond as Daniel Craig, right? So let me give you a ranking of my favorite James Bond movies from Daniel Craig. Okay, so at the top would be, of course, Casino Royale. Second would be Skyfall. Third would be No Time. Actually, no. For me, I'm a little split because I thought that Spectre was better looking than No Time to Die. No Time to Die felt a little bit different looking, but I liked the way Spectre looked. Story in Spectre was not that strong. It was just like No Time to Die. But still, I felt like Spectre looked better. Like, it had more cinematographically, it was more good looking. So for me, I'm a little split. Plus, the villain's introduction in Spectre was one of the most iconic introductions for a villain ever. So Yeah, I and plus the villain in Spectre was stronger than the one in No Time to Die, because I think the villain of a story is just as important as a hero, sometimes even more important. You know what? I'm going to give Spectre 3. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm sticking with it. Okay? So I'll give Spectre third, then I'll give No Time to Die fourth. It's actually very close between third and fourth. And then last will be Quantum of Solace. Fun fact, Quantum of Solace was the first movie, James Bond movie, that I saw in the theaters. Not the first movie, it was the first James Bond movie I saw in the theater. And when I saw it in the theater, I was so like, whoa, this is the coolest ever. Because Quantum of Solace began with this action sequence, which was so good. It is amazing. But then it took me 2008, 18, and then almost like for 13 years to see another James Bond movie in the theater. So that is like that's why it was a big experience for me. And I like this movie. And I think, in my opinion, this movie should get 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, 7.5 out of 10 seems like it's a good rating. Yeah, that's what I think about No Time to Die. Now, let's move on to Squid Game. Ta-dum. Okay. Okay. So, a lot of you, I mean, almost all of you who are listening to this episode right now know and have heard and must have seen Squid Game. It's a Korean TV series that is on Netflix. It's about a bunch of people who are in debt and they are forced to compete in a game of children, like a series of games that was made for children. The only catch is if you lose, you die. And let me tell you, this is not a very new concept, but it's a very fresh take on the concept, because Hunger Games, many people are comparing it to Hunger Games, some animes that have already done the same thing. But Squid Game has become really popular, and because the acting is really good, the cinematography is really good, and the story is very good. And a lot of people are saying that the story drops off towards the end of the series. Like, it's a 9 episode long show, and many people are saying that towards the end, like 4 or 3 episodes, the story becomes slow and a lot of plot points are just revealed, which are like, why? You could have kept it a suspense till the next season, right? But that's what they did. All right. So let me talk about Squid Game. I was actually first, I was like, I'm not going to see this because it's so overhyped, and even if it wasn't hyped, I would have not seen it because I'm not into a lot of Korean dramas and movies and stuff. Okay, but there's so much hype about it. There's so much hype that I was like, fine, I'll just watch it. At least I'll have good content for the podcast, right? So I think Squid Game was awesome. Okay, I'm gonna say this. At first, I was like, I'm suspectful of this. I'm suspicious, but when I saw it, I liked it. Okay, the character development is very good. Some of the acting is little bit over the top. Like, sometimes they have a conversation and one character just suddenly bursts into like a loud volume, just like, oh you. They just do that loudly sometimes. So that is a little bit awkward. But other than that, the development of character in this whole show was awesome. And there are some like twists that happen towards the end of the show. I was like, damn, that happened. And some of the games, I was just like, no, man, you cannot do that. You just cannot. That is so evil. That was my genuine reactions for some of the games. And the thing is that I liked it because in every episode, they revealed small things, right? And they're not small, but they were like important things for that episode. And it was like, oh, like that, and like that, and like that. And there was some interesting plot points here and there. And I was like, damn, that is interesting. But I also noticed one more thing. And I don't understand why more people have not made a meme about this. But this is the second Netflix series that has people in red jumpsuits with masks. Even Money Heist, that is also having people with red jumpsuits in masks. Even Squid Game has red jumpsuits with masks. So I'm just seeing a pattern over here. Like maybe Netflix is like, huh, what if we make another show in which people are wearing red jumpsuits with a mask? So maybe that's something that people are into. I don't know, maybe. Plus, Squid Game became popular at a very, very, very correct time because it's October, it's Halloween month, and Squid Game has a very iconic suit, like a very iconic costume. So a lot of people are going to be wearing, this Squid Game outfits. I'm seeing a lot of memes and posts on Twitter, and it's just full of Squid Game this, Squid Game that, Squid Game this, Squid Game that. Plus the lady in Squid Game, that last lady, I don't remember her name, but she became so popular. She got 15 million followers on Instagram overnight, and she became one of the international brand ambassadors for Louis Vuitton and Adidas. It's like, oh my god, like it's like anything South Korea touches, it just turns into gold. We saw that first with Gangnam Style, then Pen Pineapple, and then we just had BTS, and now we have Squid Game, and anything that South Korea touches, it just turns into worldwide phenomenon. It's like that nowadays. Anything South Korean, like, it's just that. So yeah, but anyhow, the show was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had genuine reactions of surprise, fear, shock, and horror and disgust because some of the scenes I was like, ooh, they did that. Ooh. So yeah, see the show if you haven't. I mean, of course, many of you have seen it, but if you haven't, because you're like, oh, I'm not a hype beast. I am different. I am going to go. Nah. Just watch it if you have time, and you might like it. All right. So for me, I am going to give Money Heist. Sorry, Money Heist. Not Money Heist. I'm going to give Squid Game a 7.5 out of 10. Same as No Time to Die. But hey, you cannot say no to no. Okay. So that is my review of No Time to Die and Squid Game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you all in the very next episode of the ABHI podcast. Till then, take care and bye bye. Boom. Okay, bye bye.